It won't matter in 2036.
I'm not sure that the people who bought your shares think that money won't matter in
Well,
2036.
what do you want money for? You want money for goods and
Yeah.
services, right? You want money for obviously food, housing, transport, entertainment. Well, if that is so abundant that there's more, that the robots and AI are providing more goods and services than any human could possibly consume, what do you need money for in that case?
For those of you that are unaware of what Elon meant when he made his comment of money is going to mean nothing in the next 10 years, let me go ahead and break that down and translate it for you. What Elon meant when he made his comment is that there will always be money for him. There will always be money for people like him. And there will always be money for people who are already rich and those who own assets in the different and various asset classes of the future. But what he failed to mention, what the media, the tech oligarchs and the rich fail to mention is that there will be no money for the rest of us. There will be no money for the average class. There will be no money for the middle class. There will be no money for anybody else but the rich and the wealthy, right? That's why they always say you will own nothing and you will be happy. The rich get richer and the poor get poorer, right? When you look around and when you look at the direction of the world and where the world is headed, right? We are currently in an AI takeover, right? We're seeing the direction that the world is headed. We're seeing how AI is developing at a rapid rate, right? In the next 3 to 5 to 10 years max, AI is going to have wiped out 90% of current jobs that we see, not even just in America, but in the world today, right? Skynet is here. We're already getting to that Terminator like existence, right? We see AI replacing, the entry level jobs. We see AI doing things that, would that used to be an average college person's job, right? An average college graduate fresh out of college, right? Going straight into entry level, that's being replaced by AI, right? That's why you see college graduates now in 2026 who can't find a job, which is another reason why I say college won't save you, right? Unless you go to college for a STEM degree, unless you go to college for any of those like actual specified technical degrees, college is worthless in 2026 and beyond, right? I mean, and quite frankly, college is more of like an indoctrination camp, anyways. They kind of like teach you to be it's just like traditional school. College teaches you to really be a slave, right? Just a regular worker. It doesn't teach you how to do anything, just like regular traditional school, right? But that's a topic for for another video. Elon said that money is going to mean nothing in the next 10 years. But another thing that he failed to mention is that money, the current money that we have, the fiat currency, right, the paper money that we use, that's going to mean nothing in the next 10 years, right? What he didn't mention, what these elites, oligarchs, the media, what they won't mention is the fact that there's going to be a new form of currency. Now, it's going to be one of two things, okay? It's going to be either a single currency system, right, which I still believe is going to happen. And the second form is going to be assets, right? It's going to be owning different assets, owning different skills, getting your skills up, owning, precious metals, owning land, things like that. That's going to be the new currency, right? Which is why I harp so much on you have to get your skills up, right? You have to be able to learn skills and trades that are not going to be replaced by AI, that is going to be valuable in the coming years, right? If you don't have a skill by the time AI rolls around and starts really replacing people, you're SOL. You're not going to be able to do anything, right? You're going to be beyond priced out of life. You're going to be beyond priced out of survivability, right? There's a reason why people like Bill Gates owns what I think he owns like I don't even know how much it was, but it was some crazy amount of land in the United States. He owns the most amount of land among any wealthy person in the United States. Right now, you got to ask yourself, why is that? You have to ask yourself, and you got to start putting all the pieces together, right? With the rise in data centers are being created. All the farmland is being used up, right? Which is going to, destroy people's homes, which is going to take away people's ability to live. People aren't going to be able to have anything. People aren't going to be able to, have a place to take care of themselves, right? And people like Bill Gates are building all of or buying all of the they're buying all of the land, right? Which is going to in turn price more people out of life, force more people into slavery, and make people just unable to survive, right? It's just a connection. It's just like a domino effect. It's everything is connected when you really think about it, right? All of these things that are happening within our world, right? They're giving us signs, right? They're giving us signs of the end times. They're giving us signs of things to come, right? Just like I mentioned earlier, a little earlier, fiat money is going to mean nothing in the next 10 years, right? Okay, Elon said that. But the only thing that's going to happen is that the currency system is going to shift, right? And what's it going to shift to? The currency system is going to shift to precious metals. It's going to shift to land. It's going to shift to blue gold, right? Blue gold or H2O, water, right? With the rise in data centers, water is going to be extremely rare. It's going to be an extremely rare commodity to the point where if you own water, water is going to be it's going to be the most valuable resource, right? Because we as humans, we need water to survive. But what else needs water? The data centers. The data centers need water, right? So water is going to be extremely valuable. So is the precious metals. The tangible items are going to be very valuable. Gold, silver, platinum, diamonds. All of these tangible metals are going to be valuable, right? Now, Elon was just a trillionaire. On paper, he was a trillionaire, right? But there are people that are far richer than him already, right? Which is why he himself is also investing in buying precious metals, buying assets in different asset classes, right? BlackRock and Vanguard, the two companies that own nearly everything in the world. The CEO of I forgot the guy's name. The CEO of BlackRock, I think his name was like Larry Fink or something like that, right? This guy owns $13 trillion in assets in different asset classes. Now, right now, I mean, regardless of what you think, it's still money, right? But he's not a trillionaire on paper, right? But the fact that he owns $13 trillion in different asset classes should tell you something about what he knows, about what these rich people know. Why is it that all of these rich oligarchs, all of these tech lords, all of these, billionaires, and soon to be trillionaires, why is it that they are all, I guess, what's the word I'm looking for? Why is it that they are all investing in assets now? Why is it that they are all investing in tangible things? Why is it that they're buying up farmland? Why is it that they're buying up so many of these different tangible items? Because AI is going to take over. AI is going to replace all of these things. AI is going to take over and not allow people to own anything. First of all, they're not going to allow anybody to own anything, right? Like I said, it goes back to the single currency system. It's going to get to a point where people aren't going to be able to buy anything without a special, whether you want to call it a special mark or some type of digital ID or whatever the case may be. That's the world that we're going to live in now. Right? So you really have to think about it. You really have to ask yourself, right? Are you going to be able to survive in this new world, right? You have to be able to earn skills. You have to be able to develop skills that are going to keep you from being priced out, right? You have to be able to own your own skills. And when I say own your own skills, you have to be able to be so good at a skill, right? You learn a skill, a trade, or whatever the case may be, you be so good at it that you can't be replaced, right? Because, like I said, AI is going to replace 90% of the jobs that are happening within the United States, right? Not even just the United States, but the world. And if you're one of those people that doesn't have a skill that, you can market that you're so good at, you're going to be priced out of life. You got to learn how to, grow your own foods, right? The incoming food crisis coming. We already see it happening with lettuce, right? You got to be able to have skills, marketable skills that are just so good that AI can't replace it, right? You got to be able to own some type of land. You ownership. ownership in the next 5 to 10 years is going to rule the world, right? Monopolies are being created. Monopolies and ownership of whatever it is that you can own for yourself is going to rule the country and in turn rule the world, right? If you don't own anything, then you're going to continue to live the life of you will own nothing and you will be happy and you're going to be making the rich richer and you're going to continue to stay poor. That's the world that we live in. That's exactly why I continue to make these videos talking about you have to see the writing on the wall right now. You have to see the direction that America's headed towards right now. Because if you don't, it'll be too late. And by the time it's too late, you won't be able to do anything about it. So think about it. Think about the direction that you want your life headed towards and actually do something about it, right? Because time's running out. This is not the time to, just thinking that, oh, the old way's coming back, because the old way is not coming back. So awaken yourself. I'll see you guys in the next video.